All right, so almost exactly 2 years ago, I dropped my review of these shoes that you guys see to my right here. And these are the Avancus Apex Power version 1 shoes. And in that review, I talk about why these shoes quickly overtook my Vivos and whatever other flat shoes I was using at the time and became my go-to shoe for the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. And I mentioned the things that I like about it: the grip, the wide toe box, the semi-barefoot, semi-real shoe feel, the support, the design, among other things. And I also said that at the time, Avancus was my first and only sponsor. And the reason why I took Avancus on as a sponsor is because in talking to the owner, you genuinely see the vision that Avancus has, and that is to make the best footwear for performance athletes. And with them starting in powerlifting, you could see over like the last few years with the iterations that they've made that they're not really like into resting on their laurels and kind of like bathing in success. They're all about like pushing the envelope forward. So over those last 2 years, these version 1s have seen a few upgrades. There's been version 1.5, version 2, version 2.5. And the reason why I really haven't like made an entirely new video is because even though things have improved from the thinness to the support to the design, different colorways, the grip and all that, there wasn't really like a drastic improvement to say like you need this shoe over the version 1s, right? That is until now with version 3s. These shoes is genuinely like from the time that I put them on, I think the best way I could sum this up right before I get into what's different with them and why, in my opinion, they're like so much better, is that I went out to Houston for the Avancus photo shoot. And that day I also had a SPD session. And I was literally 2 weeks out from my meet at that point. And usually I wouldn't make any drastic changes like shoe or equipment or anything like that at that point. And I put these on in the photo shoot, and I literally did my entire SPD session with them after. Even though I walked with the shoes, I think it's the version 2.5s that I was using at the time, I walked with them because I was like, you know, it'll probably take a while to like break in and actually feel good and stuff like that. These, from the time you put these on, you really feel the difference. You could really tell that this is an entirely different kind of thing that it is you're working with here. And the changes that were made in these took this shoe, as I said, that was already my favorite. As a matter of fact, I still even use these from time to time just because I like the design of it. And it took a great shoe and made it exceptional, right? So I took some notes on my phone here, and I will get into exactly what I like about it and why I think that this shoe is the king of all flat shoes. And if you're looking for an all-in-one powerlifting shoe, this is the one. So the main difference, as you guys could probably tell with the design, and if it's not like clearly visible on the video, I'll put some B-roll over this. The main difference is going to be in the material used on the actual body of the shoe. And you could probably see it as I kind of like get close-ups in on and stuff like that. But it's sort of like a mesh material that is much more bendy than the previous shoes, but at the same time not like too bendy or like unsupportive in any way. So this is version 1s here, so these would be more or less like the stiffest of them all, but you can see like this is hard to, you know, sort of like bend and mold, especially if I try to like bend it that way. This is hard, so this is definitely leaning more towards like an actual shoe itself. And these, I could literally like roll this up into a bowl and, you know, just do whatever I want with it, and you feel the difference on your feet. Now, the reason why I mentioned that is because I believe that one change, there have been other changes as well, but I believe that one change is amplifying everything else that you feel in this shoe. And I'll get into exactly what I mean here. So the biggest thing here for me is the grip and the flatness of the shoe, right? So obviously Avancus has like strived to improve their grip on every single version that they've put out, right? Version 1 to me was exceptional grip. I personally don't have like an extreme setup when it comes to the bench press or anything like that. So I really like the grip on the version 1s. But this is a whole new level. And I think the reason why it feels so much better, besides just the actual grip and the soling being different, is the fact that it's much thinner. So these soles are 3.5 millimeters, and the insole is removable, as it usually is with all Avancus shoes. And you could really feel that. Like, you could really feel the ground when it is you are lifting with these. But due to like the raised edges that you see here, which is the exact same as the edges on the version 1s, version 1.52 and all of that, you still get an insane level of support. And it's actually like it's almost like a weird feeling, like a weirdly good feeling, which is why, again, I immediately switched to these 2 weeks out from my meet, is because you feel as if it's so much lighter, it's so much easier to carry, it's so much easier to wear for extended periods of time. It molds to your foot instantly, so there's no breaking period. But at the same time, you still get that same level of support that you were getting before. So it's really crazy. Not to mention that the thinness also helps with like deadlifts. Genuinely, with these, you don't even need to take the insoles out because they are so much more thinner. But I still take them out just because, obviously, you want to be as close to the ground as possible when you're deadlifting. But these, the thinness and the grip on these is amazing. I think Avancus has been making strides really to like push closer and closer towards what you would get in like a bench specialist shoes. And the fact that they're able to get this level of grip, this level of feel, and this level of support into one shoe is insane, right? So that's the first thing that I like about these. Right now, with the flatness, one of the main things with the version 1s, version 1.5, even version 2, maybe not so much in version 2.5, but one of the main things in the first few versions of the shoes that people complained about is on bench, when setting up, regardless of how you set up really, it sort of seemed like if your heel was always just a little bit off the ground. And obviously if you compete USAPL, if you compete IPF, that's something that you're going to want to take a look at. Now, I don't believe anyone has ever had an issue with it. So many people have competed with all the other versions at IPF Worlds. So many other people have done meets and they've not been like called out on it. But I've had a few people say that, you know what, I love this shoe for bench, I love this shoe for squat, I love this shoe for deadlift, but I'll probably stick with some of the shoe for bench just because of that, like, like it appears as if the heels are off the ground. With this version, again, because of the thinness, because of the way it's designed, and because there's a total zero drop on the heels there, you're not going to have that issue. So that is completely eliminated with these, and that's not something you're going to need to think about, right? In terms of the sole design, which I mentioned already, this design, I think the reason why it is they kept this for so long is because it just simply works. I have not seen another shoe that provides this level of support and flexibility and thinness and grip all in one. And I think the sole design is a major part of that. Like, you guys could see just how like almost like transparent and flexible the upper material is. But that lower material, that lower sole, is what provides that support that we're looking for. Right now, obviously the aesthetic is a big part, and for most people who have seen the version 3s, they like the aesthetic of the small. I like the aesthetic of them all, realistically, but to me the version 3s is just a step up. And again, I believe that's due to the materials used there. You guys can see with the photon colorway and the all white colorway, the gray, the USA that's coming out soon, all of them are a major step up in aesthetic. And yeah, I mean, that was just a bonus. Obviously, the main goal of the shoe is performance, but the aesthetic on these is sick. All of the new colorways are sick. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about the way that they look and the way that they perform as well, right? And yeah, I think as I said, like I had this written down here, but I know I said it already. But I think the best feedback that I could give on these shoes is the fact that 2 weeks out from a meet, I instantly switched to these. I hit a lot of big lifts in these. I hit an 826 squat at the meet. Again, only lifting in them for 2 weeks. I hit a 573 bench at the meet. And then I hit a few big deadlifts in them. I recently hit 815 for 3. They feel great. They feel really, really good. And the moment you put them on, you get a sense as to like why these shoes are such a big step up, you know? So yeah, can't say enough good things about these. It's better in every way than these. It feels better and it looks better. So yeah, they made, to me, what was already the best shoe in powerlifting even better. And if you do that, then you really can't lose, you know? So these drop on Wednesday, the 25th of June, which is tomorrow, more or less, by the time you guys see this, because I believe I'm going to drop this on Tuesday. One of the last things to mention, though, is the durability. So again, as I told you guys, I made that last review 2 years ago, and these exact two pairs of shoes, this white pair and this black pair, are the exact pair that I had in that video. And I've used these hundreds of times at this point. I train 4 or 5 days a week, and I walk in these sometimes. I do so many things in them. The sole is still intact. The inside is still intact. The durability is great. So obviously, same company is making these, so you really can't go wrong as far as durability, because I think I said in my last video, like, I can't speak to the durability because I just got them. But yeah, you know they're gonna be good. So you guys could use code RON on these to get 10% off whenever they do drop. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the shoes. Peace.